Yeah. What's up? You're with C Dot, and we're in the Cassie's attic, and we're rocking with this young man right here. I don't do introductions. I let people introduce themselves. You're your own hype man, so we're gonna let this man introduce himself.
Yeah. My name is Kaleem the Dream, straight out of St. Paul, and I'm here to answer some questions, have fun, and promote this show right here. It's gonna be the Night of the Assassins coming up January 10th. Be there.
He jumped right in it because that was the first thing I was going to go to. So tell us about what's happening 1/10/19 at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
What's
So
going on
a whole
here?
lot of I would say local talent is gonna forget local, okay? A whole bunch of hip hop talent is about to happen. 7th Street entry. I'm excited. This is the first show of mine this year. This is the first show I'm actually headlining, so this is amazing. Everybody on this bill are friends of mine, you know what I mean? People that I look up to, people that I respect, and that I've seen been on their grind in Minnesota a long time.
So why did you guys call it the Night of the Assassins? What's up with the title? Kaleem the Dream, the Night of the Assassins. Where did that come from?
I feel like it's kind of like a metaphor, right?
Okay.
Like every artist on here, I feel like it just has assassin abilities when it comes to like music and hip hop and whatnot. So it's basically like, you know, the night where we come together, congregate, and tear things apart. So
what is the energy level that's going to be at the show? So do you have like, is it like different genres of music? So you have artists that are hip hop artists, and they're like more rockish, and then you have more popish, and then you have more R&B hip hop artists. So what are all you guys bringing to the table? Is it different types of music, or is it just one setting of hip hop?
We won't have too much rock, I don't think. I don't think we'll have rock, but for the most part, it's gonna be like hip hop, R&B, and I say R&B loosely too, because you know how jockeys be feeling out there. So I would say it's hip hop mainly, and to be honest, I can't predict how the energy is gonna be. I know I've seen a lot of these artists perform though, and usually their energy is up there. So you know, be prepared.
Okay.
Yeah, be prepared to move around, jump around, interact with the crowd, all that.
So how much is it gonna be?
To get in?
To get in.
Oh yeah, tickets are $10 if you get them in advance. Tickets are $15 at the door. So.
Okay, you have a new mixtape out, right? It's called Bruce Leem.
Bruce Leem.
So what inspired that title?
Basically, I was just sitting up one day and I was like, I feel like I want to drop something that's just, you know, me just lyrically just going crazy and over beats nowadays. And Bruce Lee kind of is somebody that I know that is particularly efficient in whooping people's ass. You know? So I definitely wanted to like kind of carry that energy into, you know, how I went about these tracks. Like every track I just, you know, made sure I gave it my all and, you know, had fun with it at that. And,
so what was your mind frame in the studio when you were making Bruce Leem? Because there's different tracks I noticed for different areas.
Right.
My favorite track is actually Recognized.
Oh, yeah.
So what were you thinking when you made that song Recognized?
Just that song?
Mm-hmm. Just every song. Well, but specifically Recognized.
Alright. So I'm going to tackle your questions in order. But, no, Recognized, I was just, you know, reflecting on my life and what I was going through at the time. You know, it was kind of touching on my relationship a little bit, and not just, you know, from my perspective, but, you know, I was speaking from my perspective, but I can also testify that it's tons of people out there going through the same thing probably. So just basically touching on, you know, how you feel when you're an artist and you got different type of women around you, and you kind of have to really learn how to
groupies, get rid of them.
Yeah, well, you know how to navigate through all that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I'm not even famous, so I can only imagine how it's gonna get if, you know, I'm selling out shows, I'm on tour, I'm J. Cole status. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure he talks about it too.
Oh, yes, he does. A lot. So we're gonna take it back to Good Riddance.
Good Riddance, yeah.
To now to Bruce Lee. So I noticed on Good Riddance how can I word this correctly? If you guys are really hip hop artists, you would know about Nas Illmatic. And the way that Nas did Illmatic was the beats. I noticed on Good Riddance, I don't know if you notice this about yourself, but when you pick beats, they're more of a, say you're on a hill. Okay. You're more like, okay, say a hill and you get to the incline, it's high. But I notice you stay here with your beats. You do that more mellow route. Like, say, you know, I'm out for presidents to represent that beat route. Why do you choose to stay in that little beat route instead of going more the club route? I notice you don't go with the bangers quite as much. You stay in
Bruce
that
Lee
little...
kind of has that type feel.
I noticed that.
It kind of gave me a reason to do that. But otherwise, you know, on Good Riddance, I just felt like because of the type of like project it was, I was more focused on conveying stories and messages and things like that versus like turning up necessarily. I was kind of just trying to
show people who you were. That's how I felt when I was listening to it.
Yeah, basically, and you know, display lyrical ability, and you know, when the beats are mellower, it kind of gives you more things you could do with your voice. It kind of focuses the listener on your voice. Yeah. So
I noticed that on Carroll Avenue, Pretty Penny, and Promise. Yeah. So are you
love all those songs.
I do too. Yeah. So are you planning on? I'm the type of person, like, when I go to shows and I listen to music, if you don't perform the song that I listen to, I get pissed off.
Oh, man.
Like, I like to bring this up because I went to a couple of shows and I love the song Rico. You remember when you did that? Yeah, you remade that and you never really performed. I'm like, when is he going to perform this?
I think I did it like one time, and then after that...
I knew I wasn't crazy.
Yeah, no. Some songs literally might not see the light of day on the stage, to be honest. And Rico, nowadays, like, I'm like, I don't know. I have so much new music that I want to put out anyway. And I'm like, should I do a remix? Like, I really like my Immortal remix, too. Yeah. Like, I feel like, shoot, I would do that anytime, but at the same time, I got, like, original music that I kind of want to get people accustomed to. Okay. But who knows, though? Maybe I can figure out a way to, like, integrate that into my performance somehow.
Okay. And
later on,
there's other projects that you have been doing prior to, before the Good Riddance. You had a Lamb project, and you had a song called You Better Watch Out. You remember that? It was produced by, I do believe, what is the young man's name?
Adam Dunn.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
No, it was Tri Bishop, wasn't it?
Tri Bishop, yeah. I thought it was on the video.
Lyrically, you assassinated that, if you can remember all the way back. How old were you when you did that?
I can't remember.
I feel like you were like prepping us 15. For what was going to come to now.
15, 16.
Because if you guys 17. Can go to YouTube and check that, You Better Watch Out, and you kind of snapped and you prepared us for all of this.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like when I'm listening to that song.
Yeah.
And so, you know, would you ever do that song again on stage?
You know.
It's like minor introduction.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. With all those songs, like, as much as I love them, like, even Good Riddance, I'd love to do those songs. It's just, like, I feel like because I'm steadily, like, coming up with new songs, I want to see how those, like, feel on stage and kind of get a feel of, like, how the crowd's feeling with it. I mean, rocking with it. And, you know, I never really officially went on, like, a tour with Good Riddance or something like that. So maybe if, you know, if the fans hit me up, if there's enough people to hit me up, like, yo, you really need to do that, then I'll do it. Otherwise, it's just going to be like one of them things where, you know, everybody got mixtapes they dropped early on that you probably never hear again, or, you know, who knows? If one of them, like, pop off and that's just a single, like, I always do Hungry for Life, no matter what, because that has over 100,000 plays on SoundCloud. Okay. So it's like, obviously that's something, and it's just like more like I feel like Hungry for Life for me is like a reminder for me to remember, like, where I come from, what I'm doing it for. It just, every time I'm on stage, it just feels refreshing to do that, no matter how old it is. So that song is like a exception. So
we're gonna talk about, see how you have this show, and it's being promoted in Minnesota right now. So how do you feel about the promotion that's in Minnesota? So say I go to even Kentucky, people always refer to Atlanta, but I went to Kentucky and I was in a Waffle House and they were playing a song, but it was a local artist. It was like 2 a.m, but at the end of the day, they were still rocking out to it. I'm like, who is this person?
Really?
Yeah, it was, and he was like, he's actually a local artist. He's not famous yet. Do you feel like that lacks in Minnesota with like the promotion of shows, and sometimes people don't come out to support local artists? And why do you really feel that?
Yeah, nah. I feel like, well, to be honest, this is like my first one I'm doing where I'm headlining it, and not to say I haven't done shows in the past. I guess the difference with this, like we went out to other shows, we printed out little flyers so that we can put on people's cars, and just basically trying to do some legwork to see if that will make the difference. So I'm really gonna judge it after this show to see whether or not like it works or not. I will say I wish some radio shows would shout this out or something like that, and but I guess that comes down to my my what do you call it, recognition or something.
But see, this is how I feel. I feel like with radio, back in the day, you could go to the radio without paying them to play your track or whatever. I feel like you shouldn't wait till an artist gets on and then you recognize them. Because I feel like if I'm on and then finally I make it, then you recognize me, I don't want to come on your show. You didn't take the initiative to listen to me, even though people are listening.
And that's like a catch-22 in Minnesota, because it's like it's easy to fall into that type of mentality, but it's like it kind of puts you in a position where you're saying, okay, well, I'm just going to turn my back on my state for a little bit. And I'm trying to convince myself that I don't need to do that, and I can stay here and it pop off and da-da-da-da-da, but I keep hearing, like, I've been hearing like crazy, especially over the past year, like I need to get out of Minnesota. And not to say I wouldn't respect Minnesota, but it's just more so like, if you want to take it to that next level, I'm not going to get any bigger than where I'm at just being in one state. That's just facts.
So have you traveled or tried to? So if you were to travel somewhere, would you go to New York, LA, Atlanta?
To be honest, I'm open to go
Nashville,
wherever. New York though sounds dope. Atlanta and LA, just cause, and Texas. But LA, I love to go to LA. I've never been to Cali. I've been to Florida. Florida's nice too, but I never been there on like music. So it'd be dope to go to some of these places on music and collaborate with other artists. That's what I've been doing now though, is like bettering my craft so that I can go anywhere and pretty much say we don't got a producer, I produce,
So you're like a Pharrell kind of. You rap, you produce. You don't sing, do you?
I'm trying.
Can you sing?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying. No. Seriously, hey, give me about like 2 more years. Okay, 3. I don't know. Y'all might get a singing track from me. You never know. But I feel like what was the main point? Like getting out of the state. Yeah. I want to get out of the state. Yeah.
Okay. So in music, a lot, you have your hip hop influences, but what they don't talk about a lot in rap is R&B influences, because R&B came before rap. So when you're in the studio, what are some of your R&B influences that influence you to make music? Do you have any, or you haven't thought about that?
I don't think that's something I consciously think about, I guess. I would say, early on, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not taking it back. Of course, I got R&B groups that I respect that I listen to coming up, but like as far as like getting into singing and figuring out like voices and whatnot, like Party Next Door and Drake and Bryson Tiller, Tory Lanez, they're nice. I feel like as far as the culture nowadays.
So you're not really big on making an R&B track?
No, that's the thing. I'll be making them like secretly. It's just like I don't feel like I have the vocal capacity yet. Like vocal cords, it's like a muscle. So I'm not about to just come out when I can't sing yet. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to sing. I mean just to like make a track.
No, right?
Like an R&B track.
Okay, yeah.
Because a lot of rap artists don't think about that, because a lot of the rap music really comes from like R&B if you think about it.
Well, if you want,
from the sampling and from everything. You go back in the day, it's an R&B song before it's a rap song. So
I guess that's what I say. I don't really think about that. No. Just to be honest, I'll probably lie to you if I said anything right now.
Yeah. When I was younger, because I wanted to be a rapper at some point, but I was actually going to be the first rapper to do a song with a country artist, but Nelly beat me to that punch, and that's when I was like in the 9th grade.
So you was ahead of your time.
Yes, I was. You can.
Crazy.
I really was really ahead of my time.
Yeah,
I was.
I will say I have been dabbling into like alternative music or like rock-ish, you know, just because I feel like nowadays listening to hip hop. I don't even want to say listening to hip hop, but I guess it is what it is. I feel like the sound nowadays though is just more so it went more 808s, trappy type.
Yeah.
And not to say I don't like that stuff, because I do enjoy that music, but it's just more so like, it got to a point I'm scrolling, every Friday I check for new music.
Yeah.
And lately, I just feel like the music has been kind of like, okay, ain't nobody really taking it there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ain't nobody taking it there. So I'm like, what can I do to expand my palette and, you know, bring something new? You know what I mean? I had a line talking about I'm trying to fill the shoes of Prince.
Okay.
And that comes with a lot, you know what I mean? I can't just say that lightly. So I realized after I said that, not that I'm striving to be him, but I guess in my own lane, I have to, you know, now I'm taking up producing just to, you know, get a feel for the instruments. My papa used to play the keyboard for his church all the time. He's really nice. He's a legend to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the keys and whatnot. So it's like, I have to, that's one of my challenges, to like figure out this instrumentation and try to incorporate that into my music so that my tracks on top of my lyrics stand out. You know what I mean? Like you can get that quality of music where it's not just like it sounds like everything else that's coming out already. You know what I mean? I can do a million trap joints.
Okay.
All day.
So as you talk about this generation, and what brings me to my next question, because I myself, we have different generation gaps. So my generation is not your generation. As the generation goes on, it's going to change. The music is going to change. So I try to find myself listening to different music. I can't get past people's voices. I tried to listen to 21 Savage. I couldn't get past his voice. But I do notice in this generation, even though we had it in our generation, there was the drugs and everything, but I noticed that you keep that out of your music. Why do you choose to do that? Because I know in rap, you only rap about things you can relate to. Do you choose to keep it out, or?
I got a couple songs where I touch on it.
Okay.
But,
are you sick of hearing about it in songs? Is that why you don't touch on it?
To be honest, it's just
like taking over.
When I'm about to write, it's just not. I'm not the guy that's about to tell you I'm about to spark up. Like even back, like I've recently stopped smoking, but even if I was smoking, like
good, health is wealth.
Like yeah.
I don't know how. Go ahead.
But even say I just was smoking before I started writing.
Yes.
I'm not the type to go and talk about how I just smoked. You know what I mean? Like there's a million things you can talk about, and hey, I'm not knocking the people that do talk about it. It's just more so like that's just not me. Like I'm not about to get on the track talking about just blaze and spliff, da 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 da. You know what I mean? It's just never been. I guess because I started writing so young, that never was my initial. Like there's a lot of things I don't do initially that I even had to learn how to cuss damn near. You know what I mean? Like not learn how to cuss because I used to, but like incorporate it into my raps in a like natural way.
Yeah, properly, like, just not to be cussing, just saying fuck you.
Yeah, right.
I get what you're saying.
Like this, people don't like. I can make a rap all day, no cussing, still to this day, just because I had so much practice. Like I didn't start cussing till 18, and I've been rapping for like long as 12, I guess.
So, okay. You seem to have your head on strong and right as a young man. So what was your household like when you were younger with the whole music? Where did all this music influence come from? What were your parents listening to you that influenced you?
Yeah, it's a number of different variables. I would say with my mom being a huge music fan, you know, she came up around like I said, my papa was a musician as well, and he at one point he was booking shows, so he used to bring like Destiny Child and a bunch of other people up here. She used to go to the concerts, and I'm guessing she just, you know, kind of music was always in her life. You know what I mean? Like you go to the kitchen every day, she playing music, she cooking, if she cleaning, she, you know, getting ready for work, playing music all day. So like subconsciously subconsciously, it's always in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my sister, she always like memorized the songs. I don't memorize them. I just hear them and just be like, okay, cool. And, my dad, he was a rapper, so MC, and coming up, he kind of got me, like, I already was exposed to music, but he kind of showed me the background to how music was made. Like, that was the first time I was in the studio, like, at the age of 5. You know what I mean? People don't see that at the age of 5. So I felt like I had the cheat code. Like, I was like, oh, this how it's done. So instantly my mind works like, if I can figure out how it's done, then I'm more prone to be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking creatively, because I'm a creator. You know what I mean? If I learn how to do graphics or something like that, I'd be doing graphics. I learn how to make beats, I'm making beats now. You know what I mean? I learn how to record my own music, I'm recording my own music now. That's just how I work. But yeah, he brought me to the studio, and I would watch him. I've seen him on stage various times, and I feel like just coming up, I just, had a passion for it. I seen his passion for it, and I'm like, man, like, this is something, and he's showing me the ropes. He taught me how to count bars at the age of 6. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I still realize that some people can't even count bars, and I realized that came in handy. It definitely helps in writing too. It'll help you get your bars down and figure out how to, like, convey certain messages within a certain amount of bars and whatnot. So yeah.
Speaking of counting bars, since you're with the whole counting bars thing, and bars have a lot to do with the minutes of the song, right?
More like the tempo of the song.
Okay, just the tempo. So when you get a 16, and now this generation, I noticed they're making CDs and they're only 2-minute songs. Are you with the 2-minute songs, hurrying up and rushing it, or are you more of the 4-minute song, where the beat comes in, you're getting your point across, and it goes to like an extended instrumentalist, and then you come back in on the beat? So are you more into the 2-minute song or more of the 4? It doesn't matter.
To be honest, it's both.
Okay.
It's both. There might be a track where I'm feeling this for 2 minutes, and I just feel like either going off for 10 minutes or 2 minutes and letting that be it, or it might just be like a short little song, and that's just how it came out. And when I looked up, it was 2 minutes. Or it might be a song where I'm feeling the same way, but come out 4 or 5 minutes. I probably
see. I'm against the 2-minute songs. I'll be at the gym with the music in my ear, and I'm like, I look down, like the time is only like maybe 10 minutes. Like, what's going on? 2-minute songs, it's like they're rushed, and I don't think people take the time to write. You just want the hook and something popping, and it's just done with the song. It sounds 2-minute songs are more like an interlude to me.
I think that comes from just the culture nowadays, like the way music is shifted, and a lot of times when you're coming up with something catchy, there's only so much you could say. Like, put it for instance, I don't know, what's a 2-minute song? Like, if Hotline Bling was 5 minutes, like, why? Like, why would Hotline Bling be 5 minutes? Is it 5 minutes? I don't know how long it is.
I might not be done with the song. I maybe want a Hotline Bling for 5 minutes.
But it's just like, you know what I mean? You need it short, sweet, you know what I mean? And then go to the next one. And,
so do you feel like, say in music, they follow politics. And usually in music, they follow stuff that's going on in the world, right? You following me? So as a rapper, are you going to touch on some of the subjects that are going on, like right now? Say, take it back to Marvin Gaye. What's going on and all that was going on in the time. You had Nina Simone, she touched on stuff. And so right now, it's all like coming at you at once. Depression, you have people getting molested, you have like, even with money, you got your tax being taken, all stuff like that. Are you a rapper that would touch on those subjects, or will you shy away because you just don't want to hear the backlash of what you're really thinking? On a track. And
I'd say that's something, like, if you're going to say something, you got to make sure that you're, like, you first understand what you feel and how you're about to convey it. I don't believe, because there's some people that might go up there and say something, but you can tell it's not necessarily, like, rooted
from the heart.
You know what I mean?
You have to go through the situation to speak on it. Are you saying that?
Well, not necessarily go through the situation. You just have to, like, make sure you're assessing the whole situation. Like, say because that's one thing I do want to talk about. Like, I've made songs talking about what's going on nowadays. Like, I have a song called Young Black Boy. There's really a part 2 and 3 that's not out, but what else? I got this one song called I don't know what I'm naming it yet, but it's out. It's in the vault, but I just made it recently where I'm kind of touching on our state in America. I've made a couple songs like that. I feel like they come when they come, and that's definitely something I want to put into my album. So like when you hear the album, I definitely that's what I've been taking my hiatus for, to just kind of figure out like how to tap in with myself and how to convey messages where I'm being true to myself, but you know, I'm also making it a dope track. You know what I mean? I think that's important. Like, I don't want to just go in there and, you know, power to the people, this and all that. You know what I mean? And the track sounds like.
I think it's very important not to make a whack track, but the power to the people is nice. But then again, you don't want to be a hypocrite at the same time, because some people make power to the people and then they're hypocrites, and that bothers me.
Yeah, so. I just want to be able to, like, you know, be myself. Whatever I feel like touching on, I'm gonna touch on it. And
if you don't want to touch on it, you'll leave it alone.
Or you know, say I'm not meant to touch on everything. You know what I mean? Like, if we were to talk about how do you feel about I don't know, something that I'm just like not rooted in. Why would I talk about that? You know what I mean?
That's very important.
It's just like, it's not really it wouldn't be heartfelt until I actually, you know, get the inspiration to feel like I need to say something on that.
Okay. So we're gonna take it from, you know, have a little fun and play a little game.
All right.
So I have a list of rappers here.
Okay.
And back in my day, you know, they had the 5 mics. I used to read the source to come with the 5 mics and the top 5 rappers. So I have a list
telling me about that.
of rappers here, right?
Yeah.
Pusha T. All I want you to do is pick out your top 5 out of this list, and I only want you to show the 5, and I only want you to explain the number 1 you picked.
Okay.
Number 1 top rapper. I want you to share the 5, but only explain the number 1 rapper and why you picked him. So you can sort through them. We'll give them some time. You can throw it on the floor if you need to see better. You know, I came with the game. You know,
you got classics in here. This is hard. I'm glad they can't see this, because this is gonna be.
You know, I was gonna put it on the wall, but you know, I'm old. I ain't got time for all that. How's your 2019 going?
Oh, it's going pretty cool. But you know, I've been taking it slow. You know, I can't necessarily.
You set any New Year's resolutions, or you don't do that?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I noticed I ain't smoking, so I kind of did that, not by accident. But
so how do you feel about health in America right now, with food and the smoking of the weed and the drinking and?
Well, I feel like each generation has its something it's going through. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going through a crack epidemic, and that definitely happened. No, right. Well, okay, yeah, you're right, because there's a lot of opiates.
Pill popping. Yeah,
facts.
All form of crack.
Facts. Right. No, but I just feel like, but you see how there's just different forms of it, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever's hip.
So what made you not want to smoke weed anymore?
It just came to, it wasn't something that, it was more so like, every time I did it, I would feel away, like I shouldn't, and I'm like, why am I putting myself through that anyway? You know what I mean? Like, let me just chill. It got to the point where, because at first that wasn't the type of stuff I do anyway. But when I started doing it, I was like, okay, you know. It got to the point where it was like damn near every day. And it was like, I never used to do this, you know, on a regular. Like, and I'm conscious. I'm a very conscious person of like my behavior and you know, even when I make music. And I just was like, that's never been my MO. Like, with music, like, to be honest, I look up to myself when I was younger, writing music. Because I felt like just that drive as a kid. Nowadays I'm dealing with, I mean, not to say I can't balance them both, but I be thinking about bills and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
wrong
like,
shit.
Yeah, all that. Nowadays I'm thinking about, you know, jobs and whether or not
And
this
so,
is meant for me.
what
but
he's saying, basically, what y'all need to understand, like,
Right.
when you're grown and you're dealing with that, you don't have time to be smoking weed and getting drunk.
Well,
What you doing?
there's some people it works for them. You know what I mean?
commend anyone that can do that and still go to work.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's some people it works. I just feel like for me, I just have to show myself because I'm not even anywhere where I need to be right now. You
So
know
do
what I
you
mean? I
feel
can
like
imagine
you
if
need?
I can imagine if I'm like you know what I mean, I'm torn.
Yeah.
Doing something
Yeah.
that's, you know, progressive and, you know, I'm using it to celebrate or something like that, or it's occasional, but like when it's like I'm just doing it to do it, and at the same time I'm in the same damn place. And you know, what was I saying? I was saying like when I was younger I would write, it would just be a different hunger, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It would be like it's more so like I'll be excited to literally go put on a beat and just write. Nowadays I'm like not that I'm not excited anymore, but I'm just I don't know, it's just different. That's what I'm just trying to center myself.
So say it's the summertime of July in 2019, right?
Yeah.
And so you go around Minnesota a lot. You've been in every neighborhood.
Yeah.
So if you were to put on one block party in one neighborhood, in any location, the East Side, Woodbury, you know, Minneapolis, over north somewhere, where would you have that block party?
Block party?
Yeah. Well, live music with a live band. What area would you pick and why?
I like to do Carol
Oh,
Ave,
okay.
right up the street from Jimmy Lee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all can make that
That's
work,
what I
you
would
know?
do. Yeah, that'd be dope. That would be dope.
Why'd you pick him?
I actually would like to do it, a whole show on the football field at Jimmy Lee. That'd be dope too. But or in a parking lot. You see, you got the park, you
Yeah.
got the basketball court.
You know where I would do a show? I would do a show right down by Sam's Dairy, right in the middle of that parking lot.
You gotta remind me where that is.
Sam's Dairy is like down all the way down Maryland, where the Maryland Park Apartments is. That's Sam's Dairy that's been there for years. Never been torn down. I would do a show right there, and then I would take it to Selby, right where A1 was, where that lot is, where the store used to be, and I'll do a show right there.
Okay.
So, that's pretty dope. All right, you getting there? You getting there? How many you got?
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of coming down. All right, let me just go ahead and do it. Damn it.
Okay. I'm not seeing this. I don't know who he's gonna pick, but I'm curious to know who his number one is.
This is hard. This is hard.
I threw some in his generation in there.
I'm gonna just do
Okay,
that.
I can take the pile from you.
Damn. Hey, Drake gets an honorable mention.
Okay,
I'll say
so
that.
tell us from 5 to 1.
So
I only want to know about 1.
This ain't no order,
Okay.
but you got Kanye West.
All right.
Yeah. Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. I disagree with that, but we all are different.
J. Cole.
Okay.
And
His number 1
Ho!
is Jay-Z. Why'd you pick Jay-Z?
no, Kendrick Lamar is the number.
So Kendrick's your number 1.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Kendrick over Jay-Z. Okay. Why is Kendrick
Well,
your number 1?
I would say this not the only person, but I would say when I first discovered his music, he kind of made me like this. I'm somebody that prides myself on like lyrical ability and that type of stuff. So when I'm listening to people, I kind of like to see where everybody's at with it. And when I heard him, I'm like, yo, you want some other shit. Like that was the first time I had to stop and like, you know, really tune in to like all of his music. You know, when you listen to somebody and you know, you check out a couple tracks and you're like, okay, you know, this one's good, but these other ones, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But this dude, you keep listening to track by track and you can tell he's really putting like effort into every track consistently, like concepts, all that. You know what I mean? It's not just he's going in there and just bullshit. You know what I mean? You can tell he takes it serious. So,
Okay.
yeah, I have to say that.
So Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
That's his number 1 rapper.
Straight up.
You know.
Straight up. And not to say, you know, I respect everybody else in this list. I would say because I'm younger too. I mean, you know, I feel like we kind of have to, you know, lift up our own. Just like
I feel like
they should lift up.
People, if they don't pick a number one that you like, you feel like you have to go in depth with it. But you know, you pick till you pick. I disagree because I don't like Kendrick Lamar. I have my reasons.
And and I'm saying, you know, because you got a lot of people on there that's and they're not necessarily under. It's just more so like literally to me, that's somebody that I was like, yeah, that's he's the next leader type shit. Like that's who I have to top if I'm trying to beat like raise the bar. You know what I mean?
So you speak about generation. I was speaking about generation gap, and I noticed that's not in you guys' generation as it was in my generation, which brings me to my next thing. It's freestyling. When I was younger, I used to watch and listen. I didn't watch because we didn't have that many films, but Hot 97, Angela Martinez, all them Funkmaster Flex, you can go on the radio with your crew and then you can freestyle. Yeah. I noticed there's not a lot of freestyling with you guys in your generation. I don't know if I'm missing that, but
there's people that freestyle. Like me necessarily, I don't freestyle. It's something I'm trying to, you know, get better at. Right now, I don't feel like my freestyle game is, you know, it's not anything special. You know what I mean? There's some people I watch and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? You got it. You know what I mean? Like, Star High the Prince, Royce the 5'9".
Do you think that takes away like your credibility as a rapper? Because they used to base like your freestyling on anything, and I thought they shouldn't do that because if you look at Cassidy, that boy could go off.
Oh yeah, him too.
He could pop off, but then his CD came out and it was like whack. So do you think that has anything to do with like making an album or lyrical credibility because you know how to freestyle, then you're all well-rounded rapper? Because they used to do that a lot back in the day. Do you think?
I feel like it depends on who you're talking to. You know, for me, if that knocks some points off for you, then hey, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep making music, and you can either like my music. I just feel like I put thought into, you know, creating an actual track. I've never been the type to, you know, put on a beat and just start. I don't necessarily freestyle. I will come up with, you know, melodies in my head and I just start writing though. Initially, I never really, you know, freestyle too much. I was just writing.
So, do you have a crew or do you stand alone?
I don't stand alone. I kind of got people, you know, I'm cool with. I don't think it's like a solidified crew because, you know, everybody got their own things going on. So that's one thing I am realizing that, you know, before I take it to this next level, I kind of got to get that under control, or else things aren't gonna, like if you look at anybody that came from the bottom to the top, they got a solid circle around them. You know what I mean? Yes. People that's been around for ever. You know what I mean? I would essentially, and you know, you might lose some here and there, but for the most part, you got that core people. You know, and I feel like that's what I'm trying to build. You know, I need booking managers, I need marketing people. Shout out to Willie. I mean, I got a few people that I do work with, but I just feel like we gotta get that a little bit more solidified.
See, with your booking managers, you often have to watch them because they can be thieves. Yes, they
can. And I hear a lot about that. I'm just trying to like.
See, you have to knowledge yourself.
How do I do that and progress? And like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, because say I take that approach and then I never find somebody I can trust and then I never get out.
Oh, well, a lot of people have their own family members be their booking managers. And then often you have to take it back in the day and keep a book of everything that you do. So